guys. So today I am going to talk about top 10 richest businessmen in the world updated as per January 2021. So the first is Elon Musk, second is Jeff Bezos, third is Bill Gates, fourth is Arnault, fifth is Mark Zuckerberg, sixth is Warren Buffett, seventh is Zhong, eighth is Larry Page, and ninth is Sergey, Brin, and the last 10th is Larry Ellison. So now coming to the individuals, starting with number 1, Elon Musk. His age is 49 years of age and its residence is Austin, Texas. Co-founder and CEO of Tesla, and his net worth is $197 billion. And Tesla ownership stake is 20%, that is $141 billion. Other assets: space exploration technologies, $18.7 billion private asset dollar. Elon Musk, the current richest man in the world, has had his hands in several different companies over the years. Originally enrolled at Stanford University, Musk deferred his attendance to launch Zip2, one of the earliest online navigation services. A portion of the proceeds from his endeavor were then reinvested to create X.com, an online payment system that later became PayPal. While both of these systems were eventually sold to other companies, Musk has maintained his status as CEO and lead designer of his third project, space exploration technologies SpaceX, which aims to make space exploration more affordable. Now coming to the second one, that is Jeff Bezos. His age is 57 years of age and his residence is Seattle, Washington. He is the founder and CEO of Amazon. His net worth is $182 billion. Amazon ownership stake is 11.1%, that is $165 billion. Other assets of Blue Origin, $7.15 billion private asset, $7.15 billion private asset, and $9.55 billion in cash. In 1994, Jeff Bezos founded Amazon.in in a garage in Seattle. Shortly after he resigned from the hedge fund giant Zhao. In fact, he had originally pitched the idea of an online bookstore to his former boss David E. Shaw, who wasn't interested. Now coming to the third one, that is Bill Gates. His age is 65 years of age and his residence is Medina, Washington, and he is the co-founder of Microsoft Corporation. His net worth is $132 billion. Microsoft ownership stake 1.3%, that is $22 billion. Other assets are Cornerstone Building Brands Equity, $11.3 billion public asset. Republic Services Equity, $10.2 billion public asset, $10.2 billion public asset. John Deere Equity, $9.31 billion public asset. Ecolab Equity, $6.47 billion public asset. Givaudan Equity, $4.42 billion public asset. FEMS equity $2.11 billion public asset. Waste management equity $1.67 billion public asset. Berkshire Hathaway equity $1.52 billion public asset. Diageo equity $1.45 billion public asset. AutoNation equity $1.37 billion public asset. Arc Capital Group equity $1.20 billion public asset. Shika AG equity $1.19 billion public asset. Signet Jewelers equity $696 million public asset. Televisa equity $260 million public asset. Vroom equity $249 million public asset. Liberty Global equity $216 million public asset. First Cobalt equity $182 million public asset. Western Asset or Claymore Inflation Linked Opportunities and Income Fund equity $167 million public asset. Otter Tail Corporation equity $145 million public asset. Coca-Cola FEMSA equity $121 million public asset. Western Asset or Claymore Inflation Linked Opportunities and Income Fund equity $89.3 million public asset. Owens Corning equity $38.8 million public asset and $55.1 billion in cash. While attending Harvard University in 1975, Bill Gates went to work alongside his childhood friend Paul Allen to develop new software for the original microcomputers. Following this project's success, Gates dropped out of Harvard in his junior year and went on to found Microsoft with Allen. Now coming to the fourth, Bernard Arnault. His age is 71 years and his residence is Paris, France, and he is the CEO and chairman of LVMH, and his net worth is $109 billion. Christian Dior ownership stake 97.5%, that is $92.8 billion. Other assets, Ellison Company equity $18.9 billion public asset. Hermes equity $2.2 billion public asset. Carrefour equity $1.30 billion public asset and $4.50 billion in cash. French National Bernard Arnault is the chairman and CEO of LVMH, the world's largest luxury goods company. This business owns some of the biggest brands on earth, including Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, Marc Jacobs, Sephora, and many more. The majority of his wealth, however, actually comes from his massive stake in Christian Dior SE, the holding company that controls 41.2% of LVMH. His shares in Christian Dior SE plus an additional 6.2% in LVMH are held through his family-owned holding company group, Arnault SE. Now coming to the fifth, Mark Zuckerberg. His age is 36. Residence, Palo Alto, Cali, and is the co-founder, CEO and chairman of Facebook. His net worth is $95.6 billion. Facebook ownership stake is 13%, that is $92.5 billion. Other assets, $2.88 billion in cash and $225 million in real estate. Mark Zuckerberg first developed Facebook alongside fellow students Eduardo Saverin, Dustin Moskovich and Chris Hawkes while attending Harvard University in 2004. As Facebook began to be used at other universities, Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard to focus entirely on his growing business. Today, Zuckerberg is the CEO and chairman of Facebook, which had more than 2.7 billion monthly active users as of Q3 2020. Now coming to the sixth, that is Warren Buffett. His age is 90. He is the resident of Omaha, NEP. He is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway and his net worth is $88.3 billion. Berkshire Hathaway ownership stake is 38%, that is $87.1 billion. Other assets is $1 billion in cash. The most famous living value investor Warren Buffett filed his first tax return in 1944 at age 14, declaring his earnings from his boyhood paper route. He first bought shares in a textile company called Berkshire Hathaway in 1962, becoming the majority shareholder in 1965. He expanded the company to insurance and other investments in 1967. Now, Berkshire Hathaway is a $500 billion company with a single share of stock trading at more than 350,000 per share dollar in early 2021. Now coming to 7, that is Zhong. His age is 66. He is the resident of Hangzhou, China. He is the founder, chairman, executive director and general manager of Nongfu Spring. His net worth is $84.7 billion. Nongfu Spring ownership stake is 84%, that is $76.5 billion. Other assets, Beijing One-Type Pharmacy Enterprise Equity, $13.7 billion public asset and $1.30 billion in cash. Despite making his fortune in the beverage industry, Zhong originally got his start in the workforce as a construction worker. Before becoming a reporter during the 1980s, later as a beverage sales agent, he went on to establish a bottled water distributing business in Hainan. Zhong founded his first business, health products company, Yangshen Tang, in 1993. Now coming to 8, that is Larry Page. His age is 47. His residence is Palo Alto, California. He is the co-founder and board member of Alphabet. His net worth is $81.7 billion. Alphabet ownership stake is 6%, that is $69.2 billion. Other assets, $12.5 billion in cash. Like several tech billionaires on this list, Larry Page's claim to fame got its start in a college dorm room. While attending Stanford University in 1995, Page and his friend Sergey Brin came up with the idea of improving data extraction capabilities while accessing the internet. The DO devised a new type of search engine technology that dubbed Backruf, named after its ability to analyze backing links. From there, Page and Brin went on to found Google in 1998, with the former serving as CEO of the company until he stepped down in 2001. Now coming to the 9th, that is Sergey Brin, age 47. His residence is Los Altos. He is the co-founder and board member of Alphabet. His net worth is $79.1 billion. Alphabet ownership stake 5%, that is $66.5 billion. Other assets $12.6 billion in cash. What makes Google unique compared to the other companies featured on this list is that its co-founders are relatively close in terms of total wealth. Sergey Brin's involvement in Google follows a similar path to Page, After the duo founded in the company in 1998, Brin served as co-president alongside Page until Eric Schmidt took over as CEO in 2001. Similarly, after founding Alphabet in 2015, Brin acted as the holding company's president before stepping down in 2019 when Sundar Pichai took over as CEO. And now coming to the last one, that is Larry Ellison. His age is 76 years of age and his residence is Woodside, Cali. He is the co-founder, CTO and chairman of Oracle. His net worth is $79.1 billion. Oracle ownership stake 35.4%, $51.5 billion. Other assets, Tesla equity $12.5 billion public asset dollar and $14.3 billion in cash. After dropping out of the University of Chicago in 1966, Larry Ellison moved to California and worked as a computer programmer for several companies over the years. First, in 1973, he was an employee of the electronics company Ampex, where he met his future partners Ed Oates and Bob Miner. 3 years later, Ellison joined Precision Instruments, serving as the company's vice president of research and development. By 1977, Ellison had founded Software Development Laboratories SDL alongside Oates and Miner, which 2 years later released Oracle, the first commercial relational database program to utilize structured query language. The database program proved so popular that SDL would change its name to Oracle Systems Corporation in 1982. Additionally, Ellison joined Tesla's board in December 2018. And just a small social message from the last one, that is Larry Ellison, that even in our company we have studied about Oracle, but Oracle DBA, but many of us don't know that who is the co-founder or CTO and chairman of this Oracle for whom we are learning today. So that person is one and only, no other than Larry Ellison. So goodbye, thank you to all of you and have a nice day.